my friend. Thank God.
Well, as you know that this is one of the periodic surveillance exercise we conducted by the management team, though we have a section in the downstream monetary regulation that carries out routine surveillance. So most of the marketers have this panic and insinuation of maybe price will change. So instead of them putting order for the product, most of them suspend placing order just because of uncertainty of the price, based on the insinuation that is going around that probably the government might increase the price of petroleum product, the landed cost. But as you know, most of these marketers, if you observe, are very few and they are independent marketers. But the major marketers who are the major players, you can see that there are products everywhere we go, and even the little queue you see is as a result of the panic, and also as a result of the issue of the weekend that we entered in. Recently there is this situation of the market association people going to the south to deliver vegetables and other. So also this limits the movement of goods and services, which results to perhaps the less quantity of product being brought into the part of this country. If you checked, we have been checking their underground storage tanks. And recently, if you remember, our director launched a downstream monitoring and regulation of product in stock level, real time. So they cannot hold. If they do, we are going to see them, because using that software or using that application, we'll be able to track people that have product and they are not selling. And by that, we give you a non-compliance notice, which will result to sanctioning that particular company. There are various sanctions based on the gravity of the offense you committed. I cannot be able to say particularly now, because the non-compliant notice that is given to the company is for him to explain and to investigate. Our own people will investigate what is the actual non-compliance. So just outrightly here, categorically tell you, said, okay, if you change the metering of your pump, we are going to sanction you this. No, there are various sanctions. Probably it might not be a deliberate attempt. These things are machines. So when we investigate, it's based on our findings that we sanction. Now, our advice is that if there is going to be any change in price, I am sure the federal government will sit down with them, dialogue with them, and probably come to a common pitch before any adjustment of price. Not that they will just hear an insinuation from non-reliable source from nowhere, this news that they call fake news, and they start hoarding. So if we find out, that is my advice for them. So, but if we find out any marketer or any company holding petroleum product, meanwhile all his pump and his meters are in perfect condition for him to sell, because some of them come to us for some minor changes of renovation and upgrade. So in that situation, we don't expect you to sell. If we have given you such approval, you might have the product, but you are undergoing construction or minor changes. And we also don't encourage simultaneous operation. Maybe you are discharging in your underground storage tank and you are also selling. It's very dangerous. It's an unsafe act. So we stop that. So despite this kind of approvals and this kind of situation, if we find you holding and you have the product without any reason, then there are sanctions to that. Very, very serious sanction.
I think we are just all greedy, because I believe they bought at the depot less than that. So when the government decided to increase it to 112, that's why they quickly adjust their pumps. So partly it's theirs and partly it's government's problem for announcing that they've increased the fuel price. But there was an announcement that they've increased to 112. So I think that was what brought the confusion for the increase. So I think the government should equally make an announcement that the pump price is now at maybe 162 as they are selling now, and that will help.